An unforgettable event of reflection, honoring living legends who helped shape the civil rights movement right here in South Carolina. A special panel taking place at the Richland County Library this weekend. Takara Carpenter from the library and historian and executive director of the Center for Civil Rights Research at USC, Dr. Bobby Donaldson, joining me this afternoon to share more about this. Thank you both so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
So this is not only a panel discussion, a recognition, but a celebration, Dr. Donaldson, of the civil rights movement and the impact that it had here in South Carolina. If you don't mind sharing a little bit more about the highlights for this weekend's event.
So it's called Unforgettable, and part of what is happening on Sunday will be living legends, individuals who witnessed and shaped the civil rights movement in South Carolina. At the time they were teenagers or very young adults. So they're coming back to tell their story about what took place in Columbia in 1961, 65 years ago, that transformed this nation.
One thing that I learned here quickly once I moved to South Carolina, there are so many amazing historians, icons, movers and shakers that are still living legacies, that are still here, that can share these stories. Takara, why is it so important for this partnership to take place with the library specifically?
I would say because that's typically where you would look for history, and it's so important that we're still telling our stories, that we're not just making them available in history books, but we're saying, hey, we can actually put you in front of some of these people to speak firsthand on their experiences.
And putting those stories on the map, Dr. Donaldson, you can't leave out South Carolina. The times that I've talked to you about our history, about, civil rights history, we are so embedded in the roots of American history from things that started right here.
From the case of Briggs v. Elliott down the line we go, there are significant events in our state that many of us may not know about, but had dramatic impact. And so what we'll be celebrating on Sunday will be a reunion of individuals who shaped what took place on March 2nd, 1961. It was a demonstration at the State House. And those young men and women did not know they were making history that day, but they did. They were arrested, they were convicted of trespassing on the grounds of the State House, and their conviction was overturned in 1963 by the United States Supreme Court in a landmark case called Edwards versus South Carolina.
And so they're going to be some of these living legends at the panel. Can you tell us a little bit more about the panelists and some of those that are going to be honored?
So among those who will be present is a young woman named Doris D. Wright, who was at Zion Baptist Church on March 2nd, who went to the State House. One of our closest friends was Leola Clement, who later becomes Leola Clement Robinson, a member of the General Assembly. They will be coming back to mark what took place 65 years ago. They will be joined by a young white student who witnessed what took place that day. Her name is Jean Toll, who becomes the Chief Justice of the South Carolina Supreme Court. And they'll also be joined by a young man who photographed what took place that day. The legendary photographer Cecil Williams will be present.
Oh my goodness, so many icons that are going to be in the room. Takara, what do you hope the community is able to take away, not only from this event, but the different partnerships that are going to soon take place with the Civil Rights Research Center and USC? What do you hope?
I hope that the education continues. I hope that the message continues for generations. The oral history that we used to get from our grandparents and our great-grandparents, I hope that some of them are in the room, and even my generation, that we just continue the message. And by forging these types of partnerships, we're able to do it through Richland Library.
Absolutely. You guys, this is a historic moment. If you are in town, if you are able to head to the library this weekend, there are going to be some living legends in the room. Unforgettable, honoring our civil rights legends, happening this Sunday, March 1st. All the information is there on your screen about the time and what you need to know if you do want to participate. We'll also have the link with this interview and all the information for Sunday's event at WISTV.com. Thank you both so much for joining me. Looking forward to this Sunday. This is going to be really remarkable.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, stick around. We got more Midday coming up after the break.